Stick around to the end for a quick announcement. I might just be about the only person on the face of this planet, alive or dead I might add, that has never played Super Mario 64. Now, before I go to the comments and take my licks, I think it's important that you know that this was actually all
part of the plan.
I never played it on purpose.
Why are you the way that you are?
Okay, not really, but holy shit does it make me happy now that I missed it, because now I have an excuse to dip back into my new favorite topic. That's right, we're talking again about fan-made PC ports of classic decompiled games that are amazing and also totally legal. For everyone that isn't me though, cast your minds back. Out of the half dozen consoles this game first came out on, what console did you first play Super Mario 64 on? Let me know in the comments below. For me, obviously, it was natively on a PC, which still feels weird to think about that that's the world we're living in, despite this version of the game having existed for the past 2 years. If you've been following this series, you would already know that Ocarina of Time and more recently Jak and Daxter have been subject to the same decompiled PC port treatment, and this is the port that started it all. Now, I've touched on the legality of all of this in previous videos, so check that out if you're interested, but long story short, these ports work by extracting the assets from the user's copy of the game rather than recreating or copying the assets directly, which would be illegal.
There's a little gray area in there, and that's where you operate.
If you don't believe me, then believe this. 4 days after the PC port started to make headlines, Nintendo started issuing complaints about the port. Classic Nintendo. As is normally the case when this happens, links that were being shared around on Reddit suddenly started to disappear. Until one day they all came back. Yeah, it seems like Nintendo's threats didn't really stick this time, because not only is the port still very available 2 years, 3 months and 14 days after the fact, but it's also the most supported it's ever been, but more on that in a second. While we know now that yes, because the code is open source and readily available for everyone, it means that Nintendo can't do much about the port, back then it was the first of its kind, as evidenced by Nintendo sticking their lawyers on anything that moved. That means that the reception that this port got was, well, none, actually. It was shadow released, and there isn't a clear answer on who's responsible for it, so you can add a splash of mystery to this one. I mean, if Super Mario 64 on PC wasn't doing it for you, then maybe a rogue surprise release that is impervious to Nintendo's lawyers will. Now, as for the game itself, I would still say this is the most unique port I've come across, just given the breadth of what it's capable of. Want to run the game at 4K 60 FPS with widescreen support and ray tracing? Go for it. Want to add the moveset and controls from Super Mario Odyssey? Be my guest. Want to just play the vanilla version but on your PC? That is beyond doable, my friend. The Super Mario 64 PC port and Ship of Harkinian, otherwise known as the Ocarina of Time PC port, share a lot of similarities for obvious reasons. Both being 3D, semi-open world games originally released for the N64, they were both facing the same uphill challenges when being faced with making the jump to modern hardware. As you can probably notice, HD visuals aren't all that great if what they're HDifying still looks like a hot mess.
You're a hot mess! You're a hot mess!
Fortunately for Mario, he's now had 2 years on poor old Link, and that isn't the case here. It was less than a month before modders started improving the game with AI upscaled textures as well as custom handmade textures. This turned into adding new assets and character models into the game. That then went on to recreating entire levels of the game. Eventually, this turned into full-blown ray tracing, which is something even the PS5 is still struggling to do without sacrificing frame rates. I mean, we still have no idea who the Zodiac Killer is, but hey, we just got fancy lighting for a 26-year-old game, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, as you can see, when setting the game up, there are a heck of a lot of different packs you can choose from, or you can choose none of them if you want. These are all different mods and improvements to the game, some impacting the camera and gameplay, but most impacting the character models. You can preview all of them to see what your character will eventually look like, ranging from old school Mario to realistic Nightmare Mario, and the best part is that you can change this and recompile the game whenever you want to try a new one out. For the purposes of this video though, there are 2 ways to play the game that I want to focus on, and that is Render 96 and Mario Plus. Let's start with Render 96. If you want Super Mario 64 looking like the sexiest group of polygons you've ever laid eyes on, then Render 96 is for you. Not only does it update all the character models, but it also updates the environments as well. It really goes the extra mile to make it look as much like a modern day Mario game as it can, while still preserving the charm and style of the original. Because of all the new models and textures, it means running this game at a higher resolution really pays off, and the improved frame rates work like a charm. The ray tracing, while nice, I found was largely unnoticeable, seeing as the game was never really designed to showcase that sort of technology, but hey, I dare you to look a toggle box for ray tracing in the eyes and decide not to turn it on. But where Render 96 makes it look like a modern day Mario game, Super Mario 64 Plus makes it feel like a modern day Mario game. When I started my research, for a long time I thought there were just multiple PC ports of this game, similar to how there are multiple ports for Ocarina of Time. As it turns out, I was once again very mistaken. Super Mario 64 Plus acts as a fork of the PC port that focuses on customizability and aims to add features that not only fix some of the issues found in the base game, but also enhance the gameplay overall with extra options. In other words, the game has options that will make you
Come on over here, big boy!
Seriously, it is options galore. Everything from display and graphic settings to moveset, fixes, restorations, color, controls, seriously, everything. And for me, it was perfect. See, the only Mario game that I've ever finished was Super Mario Odyssey. Sue me, I was a PlayStation kid. But I did love it. So going back to Super Mario 64,
Oh, what the hell?
it obviously didn't feel the same way. Even just trying to run Mario around in a circle here so I could read a sign made me feel like he had the turning circle of a freaking hearse. With SM64 Plus though, don't even worry about it, dude. All those animations and controls that are probably second nature to a pro like you, gone. Instead, it's been replaced by a ground pound jump and an infinite roll. For me, it's like coming home. Now, the trade-off between these two is that SM64 Plus doesn't work with Rendered 96, which, well, let's not sugarcoat it. That fucking sucks. But while it doesn't work with that, it could work well with other custom mods. They just aren't officially supported. So while it would be amazing to be able to get the best of both worlds here, beggars can't be choosers. And it's great to just see that both of these options exist depending on what you're looking for. It is certainly a great way to revisit the game, or maybe you can even join me in experiencing it this way for the first time, which would be great. We could start a club, get t-shirts made, just turn it into a whole thing. Think about it. I don't really do tutorial videos, but let me know if you want to see a video on how to go about getting all of this installed, and if a bunch of you want it, then I'm happy to make something that can help. Also, I've just launched a Patreon because I've realized that if I want to make more content at a high quality, I'm going to need a heck of a lot of help from you to do it. But I'm not just asking for your charity. There are a bunch of rewards, ranging from the borderline punishment of being stuck in a Discord server with me, all the way up to exclusive bonus videos where the content is going to be picked by you. So if you've been enjoying this channel and ever wanted to support it, then now you can. Link is in the description. Otherwise, if you like this video, then there's a good chance you'll enjoy one of the other videos in the series. So here they are, Ocarina of Time or Jak and Daxter. Choice is yours. Either way, I'll see you over there. Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, daughter had fun on Yagi, her brain fried. My lady Papa Zenny out of